Hi everyone, it's Lindsay. Thank you for clicking on this video. I'm going to share with you a quick project today. It's a altered book. It's just going to be a notebook of sorts for myself to use to write quotes and song lyrics and things I like in, funny things the kids say, you know, anything that just kind of, I just want to have a place to scribble down just for keepsakes. And it's this little poetry book, and I love the spine on this. I love the colour green, I like how plain it is, with this nice sort of gold gilding on the spine. And I like that it's by J.M. Dent. That's actually what made me buy this particular book. It's quite a small book. And my mum's name begins with a J, and the family name is Dent. So it just, you know, it's rather fitting to me. And I don't know if you can see that on the front there. There you go, Dent Co. Just in the centre of the front. So I just really like the little book. I'm not going to go into sizes or anything because, I mean, I've obviously sized it all to fit this book, so it's kind of irrelevant. If you're going to have a little go at making your own altered book, then obviously you'll have to do it to the size that of the book you're using. Now I've left in the, I've done a lot of the prep, I've done all the prep work, by the way, for this. I just wanted to be able to whip it up quickly and show you, just share it with you as I'm doing it, really. So I've left in the sort of the initial cover pages. So the pages that are glued together, I'm going to preserve those as best I can. So all I've done, so the original text block here, excuse me, my voice keeps going tonight. The original text block, so obviously this is the fabric that it was originally glued in with, and you can see there's just frayed edges of the fabric. So this would have been the fabric that would have held this in place. So all I've done, this was sitting here, I pulled it, and because it's so old it was quite brittle, and I just used a knife down here, and the same on the other side. It was just really straightforward to just use a sort of craft blade and cut that out. And obviously I've got all these pages to use in different projects. So I have created two spine pieces, one slightly smaller than the other, just because that's the piece that the spine, the signatures are going to be sewn into. I've put dots on here to kind of eyeball where I need to do the stitching. I have guessed these, I haven't measured them. I sort of found the centre and then I've got 5 signatures with 4 pages in each. So, and there's no rhyme or reason to that, that's just how many. I had some 2-dye paper already made, and this is the number of pages it made up in an equal amount, so that's why I've done 5 lots of 4. So I've done a bigger spine piece which will sit in here just to reinforce this and really hold the spine open as well. I'm not going to be putting pockets or decorating this or anything. I might doodle in it as I'm writing, I might use different fonts and things, practice more of my actual writing as opposed to like the decoration and like pictures and gluing and sticking and things. But I, mean, I don't know, it'll evolve how it evolves, as they do. I always set out with an intention and then it doesn't go that way. So I've just used some cardboard from some packaging, some ice poles, tropical ice poles, as you can see. So I like to use just whatever's on hand. I don't buy anything specific to make. I mean, the idea of a junk journal is to utilise what we have, I feel anyway. I don't see the point in going out and buying materials, especially, I mean, certain things you have to go out and buy, of course, but I like to utilise what I have around where I can, because it's recycling at its finest. So I'm just wedging that in between those 2 pages, really just to reinforce that spine, and Fabri-Tac will do a great job of that. And I've cut it down so it's the same size as the paper itself and not the actual spine, so it still leaves that green at the top and bottom. And I have checked that this still closes nicely as well, but it really kind of straightens that spine piece out, whereas obviously the original book would have had a bit of give here. But I don't want that. I want it to be really sturdy. So all I'm going to do, I was originally going to add some fabric here and whatever else, but I've decided I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sew the signatures onto here, and then what I think I'll do is I'll use the initial pages and I'll glue a line down here like they would be, like these ones are. So they're kind of stuck down here, and that's what holds them together. So that's what I'm going to do with these initial pages, these front pages, because I will be gluing the spine piece here with the Fabri-Tac, and that will hold that really well in place anyway. So it won't be a problem. I'm not worried about the pages coming out. So I like to use this thing. This thing I've got is actually for needle felting, and I like to use it for doing my signatures. I used to have an old book, like a text block from like a fairly modern book, where I've just used it for the book board itself. And but I just, yeah, this I find much more sort of user friendly. And I am eyeballing this, so I mean there's no sort of, I'm literally just going by, like, just visually going by where I think the holes need to be. Popping one there. That's pretty good. And about here as well. Of course you can measure it. I just wanted this to be a really quick, easy project. Like a beginner friendly one as well. I mean, you could even do the holes closer together, but I just wanted that long sort of piece in the middle. So of course I need to do the holes here as well. I'm trying to hold that cardboard as stiff as I can. And then you have to be careful when you're doing multiple holes on something like this, because it's going to make the card flimsy, especially at that edge. You don't want to pull through it. That's what I'm panicking about doing right now. Be really close to the edge. There we go. I'm not pushing it all right the way through. I'm just pushing it through enough. There we go. So that's the holes done. And I'm going to use this thread. I'm going to use about 2 times what I think the length of the, because in fact, I don't really need to do that one. That'd be way too much. About 1.5. It's just going to go in and round. It's not, normally when we do a signature, we go in, down, round, and round, and round, like a bunch of times. So we're not going to do that today. I won't do that. I'll tell you though, if you're, when you're bookbinding, these are little needle grabbers. They're like rubber. And if you're struggling to get the needle through, or, you know, pull it out or whatever, pull it out the other side, especially on the sharp end, pull it through the other side. If you've got lots of like fabric bits and stuff, I find they can be tricky to pull through. That thing's amazing. My mum got me it, and I thought, when she got it, I thought, oh, yay, you know, thanks. And then when I started using it, I thought, oh my God, this thing's brilliant. It's like game changing. So if you're having trouble getting your needles through, people, that is a good tip. Right, I'm being careful here. Again, right close to this edge. Right close. I don't want to break the spine piece, but I wanted it fairly close to the edge. Of course, you can come in a bit further if you're a bit nervous. I wanted it fairly close to the edge because I'm going to be gluing down the end pages. So I need it, like I say, fairly close. Through there. This all looks a bit messy, I know. All I'm doing is going through this way. Oh look, I've lost it. Ah, darn it. Right, it's going through again. Take 2, 3 here. So I'm just going through both pieces, back up and through, and I'm going to tie it off in the middle. Really, really simple. I normally do a 3-hole binding, so I'd go through the middle first, but I thought for this, being relatively small, it would be fine just to do it this way. I'm careful not to break through this time. I mean, you can have a clip as well. Again, when I'm binding, typically I would use a binding clip, and I would use it here on the signatures, and I would also pop that in there, so there's no risk of it pulling right the way through. But for this, I don't really think it's necessary, she says, after she's already put it through once. Crikey. Right, so that is it, it's just through. You can use ribbon for this, you can use all sorts for this to make it look nice. I'm just using this because, well, there is no real reason. I could actually tie it at the back. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that actually. Instead of having the bow here, I'm going to tie it at the back. I think I'd prefer that. So let me pull that out. So what I'm going to do now is just pull that right through and go through this way instead. I think I would prefer how that looks. Gosh, I've got loads of like muck all over my fingers. I've done painting today. My bike chain came off and I've had to fix that. So yeah, I've got my proper grubby hands. It's all on my nails as well. I'm going to sort them out in a little bit when I've done this. So please excuse that. There we go, that's better. Pull that through, and then I'm just going to tie it this side. Not too tight, it doesn't have to be extremely tight. It's just unnecessary. It has to be tight enough, but don't be pulling at it because you're going to stretch the holes if you do that. And I'm going to put it in a knot. I'm not going to tie it in a bow or anything like that. I'm just going to tie it in a knot. And then when I glue it down, I'll glue the pieces so it is really like stuck down. And there we go, there's the first one. So I'm going to do the rest and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, so I've got all my signatures now sewn together and they are on the board. I don't mind seeing a little bit of grey through between each signature. Gosh, I can't find a bit now, but here, that doesn't bother me. If I was doing this for somebody else, if I was going to make this for somebody, then I would probably cover that up somehow. What I'm going to do here with these threads is I'm going to tie each one together just to reinforce the knots. I mean, they're not tight, they're not tightly bound or anything, so I'm just going to give them, just like knotting them together. And I'm going to trim this top one as well because this bottom one, the signatures are slightly below that one. I'm going to make sure that the same, it's the same at the top. Which one should I cut it this way? Just so it's cohesive, top and bottom. So they're going to sit in there like that and look lovely. So all I'm going to do now is just glue everything down. So I'm going to put loads of glue on here and then I'm going to make sure that I coat those in plenty of glue as well. That is really well stuck down on there. I don't want to mess about with it too much because I really want that glue to grab. That's why I put glue on both pieces, so it kind of grabs from both pieces. And all I'm going to do now is glue this page to that page. And I'm going to do that, I think, by putting it like this. So I'm going to run a line of glue here. I'm not going to glue it to this piece here. I'm going to avoid that. I'm just going to add a line here. Oh, look, the cat's sticking to my finger. Oh. Funny. I've been doing lots of projects today, so I am all like, my fingers are glued and I feel a real mess. I'm just going to do this and then get cleaned up, I think. I love it though. I love a good crafty mess. Picking all the glue off your fingers when you had a good day. Of like really like getting stuff done. That's what I feel about this one. It's like a project that I've had in mind to do for a little while. That didn't work how I wanted it to. And I'm just kind of like excited to actually be doing it. Can't wait to use it. I've wanted a little book that I can just scribble things down in for ages. And then when I saw this in a charity shop in town, I thought, oh, that would do the job just nicely. I might decorate just inside the front covers. I have kept the end papers in, as I showed you, but I don't love the end papers. Not for me, not for my personal book, so I might cover those up just as something nice and decorative. Kind of suits more my style. But, you know, otherwise you could just leave this as is. That was the idea in the first place, really, in the sense of it keeping the book sort of almost in its natural form. All I really wanted to do with this book is replace the original text block with pages that I can write on. You know, I didn't really want to do anything too fancy to it. So I put the lid back on. I need to get a new bottle of this. You get down to like the last quarter and then it goes all gloopy and it's difficult to use, isn't it? So yeah, this is the original sort of lining paper. I don't love this quote here, I'm not gonna lie. So I might just add like a little label there or something this book belongs to, or like a nice little book plate. Some sort of maybe make like a library card pocket and then slot something in there. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, you can see how they're now stuck together, the same as these pages are stuck together, and that just makes the text block, or the signatures basically like a text block as opposed to individual signatures. And you can see here, and they kind of go around there, but again, that doesn't bother me. It's just for me to scribble stuff down in. So I think that's a job done. I think that's come together exactly as I wanted it to. I've got a nice reinforced spine there. Oh, it's glue to pick off. The pages are all cut down. And what I do have as well, these are A4 pages that I folded sort of like, so I had them portrait and I folded them in half. And this is the little pile of papers from the bottom. So I'm going to make another little mini journal with these little pages too. I saw Cynthia do a mini journal just to kind of like release some creative energy, and I thought that looked really cute. And I was thinking, as I was cutting these off, I was thinking they'd be perfect to make one of those mini journals with. So I'll probably do one of those as well, just to use them. You know, it's no point wasting perfectly good paper. Might as well make it into a mini journal. Kind of only makes sense, right? But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed that little mini impromptu tutorial on altering a book and kind of preserving a book as is, just to write in. Like I say, you can cover the grey spine, but the grey is not offensive, so I've just left that. I like how sort of perfectly imperfect it is. Yeah, so again, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, like the video, that helps me out, I think. And subscribe to the channel if you want to see some more journals coming up. I've got a few on the go, a couple that are at the binding stage now, so I'll be sharing those very shortly as well. So until the next time, take care, thanks for watching, and bye for now.